And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day in studio, helping you win in any marketplace. Your consumer advocate right here in Tampa Bay. We want to help you win in any marketplace. When we say any marketplace, we're talking about 80 different categories, consumer advocate advice, content that we bring to you every day, 4 o'clock drive time, right here on AM 860 The Answer. Got a weekend show on 102.5 The Bone, and also daily TV show on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Sony TV, and 85 other smart television outlets. Just search Binge Networks on your smart devices. And we want to help you win. Over 50 show partners associated with the Consumer Quarterback Show, expert contributors that we bring on the air to help you understand more about your buying decisions and helping you win in any marketplace, as we say here on the Consumer Quarterback Show.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Save our hotline in your phone. At some point, you're going to need our hotline. It's 813-670-7372. And 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
And bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors at consumerqb.com. Quick shout out to Taps Restaurant, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Taps Restaurant over at the International Plaza Mall on Bay Street. Say hello. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Taps Restaurant, local gastro pub, and it's Taps Bar and Lounge as well. Excellent food, very friendly staff, wonderful ambiance at Taps Restaurant. And save the date. We've got a speed networking event, Tampa Bay's largest speed networking event, coming up on Wednesday, 25th of March. Wednesday, the 25th of March coming up. It's going to be an evening event over at Taps Restaurant as well. We're going to have an awesome time. Come out and make some great connections in business as well here in Tampa Bay. Colleen Rodriguez back in studio, Fairway Independent. Welcome in.
Hi, it's great to be back in our still spring weather.
That's right. It's nice still. Yeah.
It's absolutely gorgeous. I went to Fred Howard Park on Sunday.
Nice.
Watched all the people swim in and everything in early January. It was crazy.
Very cool.
Gorgeous. Yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy it while we have it. It's good.
So we're going to talk about mortgage. We're going to talk about down payment, credit improvement later as well. We got William Crowley in the house. Thomas King, welcome back, sir.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me here today, Brandon.
Shoot 'em up.
And hey, thanks for hosting that awesome event, Ken Shamrock.
That was amazing. Good time.
Really fun, really awesome time.
You never really know like celebrities or legends until you actually meet them, and that guy is so cool and down to earth. So that was a pleasure and an honor meeting him.
Yeah, very cool. And thanks for hosting it over at Florida Firearms Academy right here in Tampa Bay. So we're going to talk about self-defense today.
We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. Whatever comes up, we'll talk about it.
Let's do it. Sounds good to
Bitcoins,
me.
whatever you want to talk about. Mortgages.
Bitcoin.
William Crowley back
Right.
in studio. William Crowley, the credit man.
I just got back from Missouri, man. So it's not no pool.
It's
Sharp
cold.
dressers in Missouri.
Oh, yeah,
Look at you.
Yeah,
You're
we all look
looking,
good. We all look
yeah.
good. And what we're going to talk
that.
about today is the credit restoration, credit repair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Colleen
that.
got off track there talking about the swimming pools and everything. But I want to talk a lot, if I can, about the Fair Credit Reporting Act and the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, amongst the many other laws that consumers have to protect themselves from the abuses of the credit reporting agencies.
That's right. Yeah, we weren't taught it in school. We weren't taught a lot of our content here that we talk about on the show in school. We weren't
True.
taught much about self-defense, concealed carry, credit improvement, down payment assistance. You know, it's one of those
Balancing
things.
checkbook.
Yeah, exactly. You don't learn that. So we're going to teach you that here and help you with, different ideas to help you live a better life and avoid the commission-based advice that we say here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. You find that everywhere. A lot of commission-based advice and commission breath out there. And so got a hot listing here at 216 North Spring Boulevard in Tarpon Springs. As you know, I'm a top 1% realtor in the United States, owner of the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Got a bunch of listings here. This is 216 North Spring Boulevard in Tarpon Springs. Gorgeous walkability, beautiful property, many upgrades, large backyard. You could put a pool back there as well. 216 North Spring Boulevard in Tarpon Springs. This property is listed right at $500,000. Great opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Check out all of our real estate listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, let's jump right into it. Colleen Rodriguez in the house. You've also heard Diane Vance. You guys are business partners and working together.
She's my Queen Bee. Queen Bee. Yeah.
Top 10 lender in the United States, right?
I know. Yeah, we did some great numbers this year. We're one of the top FHA lenders, one of the top VA lenders.
Nice.
We've been a top USDA lender the past few years too. So it's just a great company to work with. Great company. So
there's so many places we could go with this. You think about just the other day on the show, we were talking about making sure your reminder to file your homestead exemption. There's homesteads, down payment assistance. I got another call this morning from a radio show listener. They said, I hear you on the radio, and you mentioned how it's not necessarily true that you have to put 20% down. So it was another example of the consumer advocacy working out.
Well, I'm glad that this person, I was chatting with William when we first came in, and I'm glad that person called you, because there are so many people out there that are afraid to call. Mm-hmm. They're afraid to ask. They think they don't have it. So when I talk to a lot of my first-time home buyers, especially, there's a fear that they have when you can hear the timidness in their voice.
Yeah, exactly.
And they need that coaxing. So people need to know that it's not something they should be afraid of. Yeah. We're here to help. So call somebody. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this with you.
That's
is to help you get to the next step in your life, to help you financially grow some stability and things like that in your world.
And that same caller actually mentioned, hey, I'm renting, I'm paying a lot of money. He said I happened to talk to a credit, not a credit union, and his credit union. They said, you could probably qualify for around $200,000, have a payment around $800. And he said, wow, just some of the numbers he was throwing out. But those are the ideas.
Yeah. And people need to not just stop when they hear the first no either in these situations.
Right.
A lot of people in our industry aren't always well versed in everything going on.
Yeah.
And, so get aligned with somebody that knows what's happening. Like, a realtor like yourself who's well educated in all the different aspects and has a solid referral base, like someone like William or myself that can help coach you through the process.
That's right.
But don't hold yourself back.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Especially from getting to that next level.
So if somebody wants to take action, you can meet with them at their home, at your office, at a Starbucks.
Yeah, we can meet with them at the home, the Starbucks, wherever they're comfortable to sit down and discuss it, because, a lot of people aren't, they want to have that comfort level.
Right.
So, and, you're creating a home. So we understand that, and everybody, I'm sure everybody here that owns a home was a first-time home buyer
at some point. That's right.
And you didn't know what you were doing. Even if you were in the industry, you didn't know what you were doing. I worked for Diane when I bought my first home when I was 25, and we were in the mortgage industry, and I had actually already been a realtor, and I cried almost through the whole process. And I tell that story to my first-time home buyers to kind of get them to understand. I understand where you're coming from. It's stressful. It's a big deal,
Stressful, emotional.
But I sold that first home and I made $100,000 on it.
Nice.
So take that step.
Yeah, exactly.
It's important that you take that step.
It really is.
Don't be afraid. Reach out. Somebody's going to be there to help you.
And outside of the first-time buyers, with that, there's down payment assistance. There's lots of opportunities for municipalities. But how about for the investors that are looking to buy duplexes, triplexes, quads? There's a lot of opportunity there to buy income properties.
Correct.
And that's going to help you diversify your portfolio, because the stock market's been going good for so long.
Correct.
There's going to be a correction at some point.
Oh, yeah. So, what did we hit? 29? The Dow hit 29 this morning?
Something along those.
Yeah, 29K. So, I mean, this is, I think, was it 20 or something it hit last when Trump first became elected? So, I mean, this has been just crazy. The highest it's ever been. So this is just
run
crazy.
We've had.
Yeah.
And, we just know mentally that there will be all the air is going to come out of that balloon at some point.
Yeah.
So,
that's what I think.
And, it's always going to be safe if you throw your money in real estate and you have investment, because you're going to get income in that, because there may reach a point where people can't buy and they're going to need to rent.
That's right.
And that's always going to happen. And rates are still low for investment properties. You can get in with 15% down. I think we talked last time about the FHA and the VA programs. If it's going to be your primary residence, you can buy multi-units. If one unit you're going to live in,
yes,
You can buy, up to 4 units with 3.5% down or no money down. I mean, you can't beat that.
And live there for a year and then do it again.
Correct.
Live there, do it again.
Yeah.
Keep buying, keep doing that. I've heard some great stories of also our veterans, doing that, utilizing 100% financing to do it.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
and that's awesome.
The VA loan is fabulous for that. It really is. And they allow a lot of leniency for your buying power. They allow extended back end ratios, which is your total debt to versus income kind of thing.
Right.
So there's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. Good stuff on the Consumer Quarterback Show, talking about ways you can build wealth. And you look at real estate as it's an insurable asset, something that, even worst case scenario burns down. Well, you still have the land. You still have the land value. You insure the asset. You're going to be able to appreciate. Most areas in the country are appreciating at a pretty rapid rate. There have been a couple of areas already that we've seen that are actually declining in value. San Francisco just started declining. Places in New York, there's a few states where we're seeing some property values declining, but that's just a temporary change that's going to happen. And it's as any market does, you're going to have improvements, and then you're going to have a bull run like we've seen with the markets, and at some point it's going to reset.
Well, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but know that we surpassed Texas as the fastest growing state the other day.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we're the number one destination.
It's challenging.
Everybody's coming
too.
here, so it's going to be a while before we go down.
This morning, I have some interesting calls, and he was talking about how he's got a large part of land, and he reached out to the governor and said, listen, that with the development, the amount of tourism that we're having, it's such a strain on our water source that they're predicting that there could be huge sinkholes at some point. We've had some really small sinkholes opening up, but if we continue that trend, so his point was we got to diversify. We got to bring other industries into Florida, especially Fortune 500 companies into Florida, because the population, we're not going to be able to handle it at some point. There's going to be something happen there.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge. It's something we really need to look at. We have enough to support a population of 8 or 9 million natural resource level, and we've exceeded that at this point. Yeah,
so,
it's scary. You start thinking about all those, drinking water. We've had Fred on the show talking about Fred DeFelice with waterscience.us talking about the reclaimed water. They're going to start reclaiming water, toilet water, turning that into drinking water. I mean, there's a lot of things happening that we really need to engage. It's on exactly. It's on the books.
You should see the water shortages in some other parts of the world. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's really sad. We're very blessed.
We are
very blessed.
All right, stay with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Coming up, we're going to talk self-defense. We're going to talk gun ownership rights. Florida Firearms Academy here in studio. Thomas King, William Crowley as well in studio. With your credit credit improvement opportunities here on the show. Plus, we have a feel-good story of the day. An Iowa woman honored for fostering more than 600 children. That's right. You heard that right. 600 children. And she deserves an award for that. So stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
This is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Kansas Star.
62, who knew? I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62, who knew?
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember
Ask to me about
Yes.
To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay. Welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left-hand white, and then they catch the left-hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination.
Well, that's kind of
you're super connected. We want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to...
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that movie because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right. Thanks for sticking with us here. Consumer Quarterback Show. Brandon Rhymes here in studio. Big shout out to Golf Cart Depot, one of our expert contributors and show partners here. Golf Cart Depot. Whether you're looking for a new or used golf cart, they've got huge inventory. 2 locations there, one in Land O'Lakes right off of 41, also one in Clearwater in Pinellas County just off of US 19. Huge shout out to Golf Cart Depot. Check them out online, golfcartdepot.com. Make sure you let them know you heard about them right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Whether you're looking for personal use or commercial use, these things are a lot of fun, and it's a really cool way to kind of zip around your community, hang out. More and more people are doing it, and they can be made street legal as well. And there's mine I just got from Golf Cart Depot. Check it out. We're going to get the Keller Williams. We're going to get Keller Williams wrapped on there. We're going to get out there and do some door knocking. And, so that's going to be fun. So golfcartdepot.com of Florida. And make sure you let Marty know that the Consumer Quarterback Show sent you. All right, back here in studio, our goal is to help you win. And we have Colleen Rodriguez in studio, Fairway Independent Mortgage, Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy, William Crowley, the credit magician here in studio as well. I want to let you know about a hot listing that we've got here in Tampa Bay. 861 Mandalay Avenue on Clearwater Beach. This is a gorgeous property, 2 bedrooms, 2 bath. You got a 3rd bedroom in the back. You can't really count it because there's no closet, but you're 200 steps from the sugar sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters of North Clearwater Beach. Great opportunity to own a beach home in the same neighborhood as Hulk Hogan and some other notable celebrities in North Clearwater Beach there as well. So check out all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, I love it when Thomas King comes in studio. We're going to educate you around the gun ownership. The Second Amendment is under attack officially in Virginia.
Constantly. And right now, I don't know if you saw this, but they're actually going to be, they put out a national alert out there. So they want to have all these officers come out there to stop the people that are coming on the 20th that are going to go to the Capitol. And then they also just passed a new law or bill over there that states that you cannot have a firearm on their property over there, which you always could before, but they just passed that. So
which property?
Right at the Capitol there, and because that's where everyone was going to meet, and they're going to go there with their firearms because you're legally allowed to, and they're going to just lock arms and tell you, hey, the Second Amendment is for us, not for you to take advantage of it or to destroy it. But otherwise, they think they're a king over there and a dictator, so they can do what they want to do. So
in Virginia,
it's getting very ugly and messy over there, and it's also starting here right now, and they're slipping in things right now. They're trying to cover up the loopholes for the gun shows that they're having. They're passing this bill right now, and they're throwing everything at it, so it's always under attack.
Yeah, it really is. And the right to conceal, that's something as well that we have here in Florida. Other states, you can't do that. New York, for example, you can't do it. And the reason why we do this is we talk about protecting your family, talk about protecting your assets. And if somebody were to intrude into your home, try to take your, steal your wealth, steal who knows, kidnap kids. It's all happening around here. We have trafficking. We're one of the highest states for human trafficking. Doesn't matter, male or female, women or children. I mean, they rob people, modern day slavery, put them on a container and ship them wherever.
That's what they do. And they've indoctrinated a lot of people that they're thinking about, hey, if we pass this law, it's going to stop this or stop that. There's 22,000 federal gun laws on book right now. The number one all we really need is murder. It doesn't matter what you do it with. That should be the only law that we have against guns. Mm-hmm. So when you add another law, you're not hurting any criminal. So laws to criminal are just something on a piece of paper that means nothing to them.
Yeah.
It only hurts the person, the legal citizen that's having a firearm, that's protecting their family. That's the only person you're hurting.
That's right. Yeah, and if you really were to take statistics and run the statistics on, for example, let's say something about the FDA and the amount of drugs and Oxycontin and oxycodones and all those opioids, right? Mm-hmm. Run the numbers, stack the numbers up of that kind of stuff versus gun violence and people killed from guns.
We could go on all day about cars, alcohol, the drugs, the opioids. They're not going to listen. They've come to the conclusion that it's the firearm that kills people, not evil people. They're mad at the firearm, not the evil person that actually pulled the trigger. They don't talk about how many lives are saved every single day with a firearm, that someone saved their life, their kid, their family, or even an officer showed up and stopped a bad guy with his firearm. So they never talk about any of that, and it's just about their agenda, taking it away from what we have. You can't run a socialist country or a communist country if the people are armed. So where they want to go with this, I don't know, but everyone has an agenda, and it's not, if I have a firearm, I'm going to use it to protect my family and my rights, or in the United States to have a firearm. Once they pass that and they really want to fight it to where, hey, you know what? If you don't turn in your firearm, you're going to be charged $100,000, or if it's in your house, your house will be taken away, and everyone in your house that is there will be charged $100,000. What if that was the law?
Right.
That's what it's coming down to. And I think a lot of people are going to somehow lose their firearms in a boating accident, or it'll be buried somewhere. So
it's
kind of scary.
Yeah, so we're talking with Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy here. So let's lighten it up a little bit. So there's opportunities to come in and train. The classes, the students, young kids learning how to operate and hand and hold a gun.
Right. That's what we're doing right now. We actually started a kid shooting team, and our whole goal on this, because shooting is an Olympic sport. It's been around forever, and it's a fun sport. It de-stresses you and makes you feel happy and alive again. So, and you can do it for a very inexpensive price. So ours is $40 for the entire month, covers all the ammo, the targets, the instructor, the range fee, everything. So these kids get to learn how to do real competition shooting. So our next one is going to be the women's shooting team will be starting up, but we have 40 different types of classes. It's not just about defense. It's about competition shooting. It's also about which type of firearm you would like to have. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really is. And you come out and you learn how to properly hold and handle, because every year you hear about the accidental shootings too.
And that's one thing that we give a class for free. So we want to make sure that kids understand when they pick up a firearm or come across one, they know what to do. Notify a parent, not touch the firearm. If they do have to, for some reason, touch a firearm, they know how to pick it up and take it away. So
that's right. Very friendly staff over there. Quincy, Marty, the whole team, very friendly. You can tell they actually love their job. They love being there and being around that environment.
There's 14 different instructors that you can actually come into, and if you like one better than the other one, then you could take classes with them, or you can just come online and look at what we have to offer. We have classes every day, certain times all day long, and I think there's about 40 classes, so you can come in, have some fun with us, and train with us, and have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the biggest caliber
that we shoot there?
Yeah.
We shoot up to like a .308 rifle. People always want to come in and bring a 50 caliber, but we don't want to take that route. Could we shoot one there? Sure, but we want to make sure that our backstop is well maintained, and it costs a lot of money to maintain that backstop. People don't realize that and how much it costs just to do that. But
we were talking about the air quality one time, just what you have to do to have the air quality in there.
It's crazy. So we do about $80,000 just for filter changes.
Wow.
And that's a lot of money. People don't realize, when you only spend $14.95 for unlimited shooting time for the day, well, we got to spend $80,000 to just make sure pure air is coming through there, so it's filtered out constantly.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
Because what is that? Is that graphite or what?
They use a HEPA filters. We got like 20 different types of filters that go through there.
It's lead.
Yes,
lead.
Yeah,
that's toxic.
Right. Yeah, you don't just like leads in your water, leads in fish, leads in everything. You don't want to. You want to make sure when you come to a shooting range, once you're done, you wash your hands off.
Right.
We have special soap that gets it off you, so you don't want to lick your hands and put it in your eyes. So
lick your hands.
We all have some point of lead.
Now, give us the pertinent information, website and location.
So we're at FFATampa.com. You can go on our Facebook page at Florida Firearms Academy, or you can reach us at 813-221-FIRE. And we're located right between West Chase on Hillsborough and the Oldsmar Flea Market over there. We're called Florida Firearms Academy. Just come on in. We always have free events, all kinds of cool stuff. We have giveaways going on. We had Ken Shamrock there. You got to meet him, hear his amazing life story. That was awesome.
Yeah,
and
cool.
Great person to meet. And the next event that we have coming up is we have the Valentine's thing. We're having War Wednesday, so you come in with your couples or a friend, and it's free for them, and you get to do shooting wars. So we have games that you play, keep scores on. So and then we have Martin Luther King. There's so many things coming up in this month and next month, right? So
a little friendly competition to kick off the Valentine's Day. I like that.
Yep. We have a free competition on the 26th, so you're going to meet Shooters Tampa Bay, a bunch of people that are coming up. So it'll be good.
All right, good stuff. Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy. Coming up, William Crowley, Credit Magician. Check out ConsumerQB.com. We'll see you right after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
This is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Star.
The 62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo!
Ask me about Florida law.
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left-hand white, and then they catch the left-hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, you know, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that movie because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, you know, with Women Unscripted, I know
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. My wife and I own and operate a top team here in Tampa Bay. We would love to help you with your buying, selling, or investing. If you want to get into flipping, we can coach you on all that and help you understand how to do that. And we've been there, we've done it, and we're here in Tampa Bay, ready to serve you. And we've got hot listings here that we like to promote on the radio and TV show. So we've got 4348 Harbor Point Drive in Port Richey. This is a $2 million listing of mine. It's right on the bay. So bring your boat, ultra high security as well, at 4348 Harbor Point Drive in Port Richey. Now, this property, it's a beautiful property. It's a 6,700 square foot palace right on the waterfront, and there's 2 security gates before you even get on the street. 4348 Harbor Point Drive in Port Richey, Florida. Bring your boat, and it's a great opportunity to get out there and enjoy all that Tampa Bay has to offer here in Tampa Bay. Go out there and go fishing, and check out all of our real estate properties at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. And this segment is brought to you by the Bill Maher Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. The Bill Maher Beach Resort on Gulf Boulevard, Treasure Island, and filled with fantastic and generous amenities to make your vacation that much more special. Awesome property. They've got 2 pools on site, Sloppy Joe's Beach Bar and Restaurant there. Whether you're planning a business trip or just a local staycation or a vacation, check out the Bill Maher Beach Resort. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Book directly as well. Don't book at one of those other online search engines. All right, so we've got Colleen Rodriguez, Thomas King here in studio as well. Now we're going to talk with William Crowley, the credit magician, back in studio. Yes, sir.
William!
Hey. What's going on? Good to be back. I've been up there in Florida, Missouri, actually, enjoying the snow.
Did you do any snow sports?
Pickleball.
Oh, you did pickleball. Okay.
Yeah, you play indoor and outdoor there.
Nice.
I played at 37 degrees. I was playing pickleball outdoor.
Nice.
What's pickleball? Nice? See,
That's
there
fun,
you
though.
know. It's
kind of like small tennis.
Oh, really?
It's kind of like tennis, but it's a plastic ball, and you bounce. Kind of pops over the net.
Pickleball.
Kind of a combination between tennis and table tennis. And then, racquetball, though, I guess a factor there, too. Anyway, Colleen was talking about fear, so I want to kind of catapult off that, I guess, and talk a little bit more about it. Because the first factor when people are trying to look for a home or secure a mortgage is they're going to have to look at their credit. And most people are scared to look at that credit report. But the laws of 2006, I believe, was what opened up and allowed you to monitor your credit report annually through one of the free sites. And there's a ton of free sites: Credit Sesame, freecreditreport.com, Credit Karma, annualcreditreport.com. There's a ton of them out there. So I tell people, be proactive. And I know you may be a little bit scared, but look at that credit report. Even before you go to the lenders, if possible, and start to address the negative issues on there. We know the information belongs to you. It's yours, okay? It's yours, and it's been there for a long time. It needs to be addressed. And the way that you address it is to, I don't know if you can show these. There are 2 books here.
Yeah, put them right up here by the camera.
Okay.
Yep.
So, for instance, this is the first book that I got my little bookmarker in there. That's the first book that you should
Fair Credit Reporting Act.
Right. And that you can get this free from the Federal Trade Commission website. FTC.gov. It's the federal government gives this information out free of charge, and you can read it. And if you need further clarification, just give me a call. But this is the Fair Credit Reporting Act created by Congress in 1970. This is the revised version of 2018. And then the next book is the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. I'm trying to make sure it's straight here, okay? And that's the latest, amended in 2010. But the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. What I found is most consumers, the reason why they're fearful is because they don't have the knowledge. If you replace the fear with the knowledge, it lessens the amount of fear that you have. Okay, it's the acronym, what I use is false expectations appearing real.
Yeah.
And it's from lack of knowledge. The more knowledge you gain, the less fear that you have. So I try to start all of my clients off by giving them a copy of this here. And if they call into the show, they're going to get these from me instead of having to go to the Federal Trade Commission. I'll give them to them myself. But the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Fair Debt Collection Practices Act are consumer laws that can minimize your fears, and cause you to be more proactive in dealing with the negative information on your credit report. Now, quickly, the negative information on the credit report has been put there in violation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. We know it's yours. It is true. If it's not true, then file a police report because you're a victim of identity theft. So you don't need to come to me if you're a victim of identity theft. We want you if the information does in fact belong to you in the form of late payments, collections, bankruptcies, charge-offs, tax liens, judgments, anything, even inquiries, anything that's negatively impacting the score. Now, don't get me confused with the lenders. Colleen is the expert at lending. The clients always call me and ask me, am I ready for a loan? I have no idea. I do credit restoration assistance. Colleen would know if you're ready for the loan. Right. So I'm clean. Colleen will send you to me. I'll clean your credit up as much as I possibly can. Every 45 days, you should be checking with Colleen to see if you're ready for the loan. Because my motivation is I want to get everything off of the credit report as much as possible. Colleen doesn't need everything off of the credit report, correct?
No, I do not need everything off.
Right.
So, and at certain times, I mean, you know for sure too that sometimes to pay some things off hurt you.
Right,
your
right.
Score.
And so now that you say that, I can go ahead and go right on into the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. So remember, we want to get as much of that information off as possible, but you don't have to have it all off in order to secure the loan. The second thing is a lot of lenders are out there telling people to pay off collection accounts. And I say, as I do on the radio and everywhere else, I adamantly say, never ever pay a collection, but never ever ignore the collector. What we do is issue a validation of debt. And these laws, I'm not making these laws up. These are in the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act and the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So everything I'm telling you comes from there. The Fair Debt Collection Practices Act says if you're going to pay any kind of charged off account that had been assumed by a collector, first you must make that collector verify the validity of the debt. They cannot verify the validity of the debt because when the original creditor charges it off, it's been settled. The negative mark that remains on your credit report is kind of like a gray area, a gray line indicating foul play. The collectors are going to buy the debts for pennies on the dollar. Then they're going to try to come after you to pay full face value plus penalties and fees, perhaps. You probably be paying the collector more you pay the original creditor. When in reality, you owe nobody anything because it was charged off by the original creditor. So I tell my clients, never ever ignore the collector, but never ever pay them. Issue a validation of debt, as it says in the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Okay, and
Let
that's
me ask you something on that. So a couple of things. William Crowley here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. William Crowley is our credit expert, longtime friend of the program, over 6 years now, almost 7 years on the show. Now, what you're saying when people say, "Oh, well, am I ready to get a mortgage now?" Okay, so it's not just score driven, and this is where Colleen can weigh in as well. Exactly. It's not just score driven. You might have a 640, which in my mind used to be the minimal score. I don't know what it is now. You know, 580 is kind of where you could get some of the programs.
Right.
But you also have to have trade line requirements, certain trade lines. You have to have active trade lines, right?
Yes and no. That has changed a lot recently too over the years. Years ago, it used to be you have to have 3 trade lines active for a year. Now, in some programs, the way that it works, quite honestly, if you can run through an automated underwriting system, you win.
So what's that automated underwriting system looking for?
So the automated underwriting systems are looking for your debt to income, which means basically how much you owe versus how much you take in every month, right? How much you have in assets left over after you close on your home. So how much you have in reserves will be another term your lender will learn.
Money in the bank.
Yeah, money in the bank. And then they're also going to look at your credit. So, and of course, they'll look at the property when you get to that point. But they're going to look at the credit. If the other factors are very strong, you don't have to have 3 trade lines for a year or anything like that. You can have, you can have them for a much shorter time. In some cases, we actually have people open a trade line, and this is their first trade line, and then we're closing 90 days later.
So let's talk about that as well. You know, you have sometimes if you do need to add trade lines, there's ways that you can contact your power company, your water softener company, or, you know, those alternative trades.
Experian has this thing called the Boost, and then there's other companies out there that will charge you for that, but that they'll put your non-traditional trade lines on there, which are acceptable, but always check with the lender first. Okay, check with Colleen, and they can tell you what they need to get the loan done. Okay, because a lot of times people going to do a lot of stuff that they don't need to do.
Right. We do recommend if you have what we call a thin credit profile, where you know it's somebody that doesn't have a lot of trades for a lot of years. Like sometimes people don't open any credit cards and they have medical collections or something like that, so they are getting a credit score and it's highly negative, even though they really don't have bad credit. They just don't have any positive credit. I
Right,
think we've
positive.
talked about that before in the past, William. They don't have any positive credit
Right.
to offset the negative.
Yeah.
So what we do is we try to get them to add the boost, or a lot of times, a lot of rental places, like the big housing units will
Sure.
add your rent
Yep.
onto the credit report. That's a huge help
Yeah.
because we will have to create an alternative trade line, which is typically your housing payment, your rent.
Yep.
And a lot of what I've noticed, I think we talked about it last week, is a lot of millennials are coming into the market, right?
Right.
And a lot of these kids are still, not that we have basements here in Florida, but they're living in the den.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So they don't have a rental history.
Right.
Actually, one young lady that I talked to the other day, she doesn't have a rental history. She's on the family plan for her cell phone, so I can't use a cell phone bill. She lives at home, so there's no electric or water. There's literally nothing in her name.
Got to get out there and start building it.
Yeah, so we got to build it.
One other thing that you can do now, when they come through my program, I tell them, okay, let's hold off on the authorized user and add any trade lines because we can convert as well. When we're doing the credit restoration, let's say they have a credit card or some other line of credit that's been notoriously late, but it's open and revolving, then we can have a lot of those late payments, if not all of them, taken off. That converts that negative trade line to a positive trade line instead of them having to go out and assume or acquire trade line through authorized
And
user. We can convert.
And if the trade line's old, if the trade line's aged, seasoned, that's huge
better.
boost to your credit.
Well, let's do this.
Yeah.
I know we covered a lot. Let's offer the credit package. William Crowley has an awesome credit package that we offer out to our listeners occasionally. So all you have to do is just text the word credit if you'd like a credit package from William Crowley. It's a free credit package. A lot of information, how to opt out of pre-screening, cut off the junk mail coming to your mailbox, obtain a free credit report, get a consultation. Just text the word credit to 813-670-7372. Simply text the word credit to our consumer advocate hotline, 813-670-7372. And if you're not a texter, you can call, leave a voicemail. My promise is to get back to you before my head hits the pillow. Also, consumerqb.com. You can submit an email form right through that website at consumerqb.com, and his information is there as well. You can call him directly if you'd like. Free credit package, 813-670-7372. More from our expert contributors coming up in our lightning round. We're going to have top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Also, our feel-good story of the day. Find out about this woman that's honored for fostering more than 600 children in her lifetime. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
This is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Star.
The 62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember.
Ask me about
Yes.
Yes.
To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for help.
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left-hand white, and then they catch the left-hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector. We want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
You're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. This segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Whether you're planning a local or long distance move, reach out to Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, they are a first-class organization. They did a great job with our move. I've known Gary Thacker for many years, the owner. Give him a call. Let him know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you for special offers and incentives. Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, back here in studio, our goal is to help you win. We got a vacant land parcel in Palm Harbor, 516 alternate 19 in Palm Harbor, aka 0 alt 19 Palm Harbor. It's a lot available. We just reduced this property down to $199,000. So you've got a piece of land in one of the hottest areas, one of the hottest zip codes in all of Tampa Bay. So it's in prime opportunity to build your dream business, office, or professional office location right here in the heart of Palm Harbor, right off of alternate 19, close to Tampa Road. It's a commercial site with frontage. All the impact fees have been paid, and the owner also has plans that they can give you. So if you're a business owner, you're paying rent somewhere, why not buy this dirt and start building a legacy for your business right here in beautiful Tampa Bay? We want to help you win in any marketplace. And every day we're going to tell you something positive in our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
Okay, so a woman in Iowa is recognized for nearly 5 decades of serving as a foster parent for more than 600 children. Linda Faye Herring started fostering children in the 70s with her husband, Bob. Quote, my best friend was doing foster care for teenage girls, and I thought, well, that would be nice to do the same, but I wanted little kids, Linda told CNN. The Department of Human Services would call Linda in the middle of the night to take a child, and she would meet anywhere to get a child. The Board of Supervisors wrote on Linda's resolution of appreciation. When asked why she did it, she said the answer is one word: love. I would just love my foster kids like they were my own, probably more than I should. I cried when the kids would leave the home, no matter how long they've been with me. It was very hard for me to say goodbye to them. I was always questioning, why do I keep doing this? Because it was never easy to say goodbye to a child, but I kept doing it because I had so much love to give to these children in need. In 2019, Linda decided to stop fostering children due to health concerns. Through her time as a foster parent, Linda enjoyed postcards and letters that she would receive, and her favorite part is when the children would come back to visit her after they'd grown up. So that's pretty cool. That's awesome. What a great person that is. Yeah, very cool. All right, I like those stories. Love the feel-good stories here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, telling you something positive here on the show, and we're going to jump into our lightning round here.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning
like this.
All right, here we go. Top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Ladies first, Colleen Rodriguez.
I just feel that 2020 is the year that you need to be fearless.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid of being successful. Don't be afraid of taking the next step. Reach out. We're all here to help you. Your community is here to help you in all kinds of ways.
That's right.
So please feel free. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, it's a new
Be
decade.
fearless.
Start off the
Yes,
new decade
start
fearless.
It. Make your dreams happen.
Reach out. We're going to help you.
Yeah.
We're going to plug you in no matter what you need. You know, we got people calling us looking for jobs. I mean, our contractors are looking for people. You know, there's people that reach out for all types of reasons, and we love it. We enjoy it when people reach out. Sometimes I get the call, am I on air? No, you're not on air. You know, it's an off-air number, the hotline. So give us a call.
I don't
We
want
love
to do
that.
the whole pre-qual thing, file for your homestead exemption. Those all stay steered. But
Invite you to parties,
but
come
on, let's
come meet
be
Shamrock.
fearless. Yeah.
You know, we invite everybody to our parties.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that. We appreciate our
time.
listeners, our viewers out there. Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy.
I don't have any parting words today. I want some wisdom. I got a question for you. So, if I was gonna sell my home and should I remodel it, or is that just a waste of money because they're gonna buy it, come in and gut it all out and do what they want anyways?
Good question. You know, that's depends on the area, depends on what the prices are selling for in your area and how much you owe. There's a lot of variables there. But what can be said is if there's, let's say, for example, there's carpet and you can see that it's tracked through. You ever see that, how it's tracked? That might be a good idea to maybe replace it with some ceramic tile on the cheaper end, hardwood on a more pricey end. So, yeah, you got to be careful because there is a such thing as over-improving the asset.
Right.
And sometimes people do that and they say, well, I can't get my money out of it. And then, unfortunately, yeah, you over-improve the asset.
Because I don't want to spend $60,000 on a kitchen and then they just come in and rip it all out anyways. Because they didn't like the way I designed it or whatever.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, we had a great conversation with the appraiser last week about that.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, that might be an idea.
You're not going to get a dollar for dollar always.
Talk to Ray Hall. Ray, the appraiser, is our appraiser on the show, and also Lindsay does feng shui design and that type of thing. So you just kind of look and see, if you were to remodel, hey, what are the latest trends? What are the latest styles and colors that people are liking? The lighter color cabinets and things like that as well. So, all right, William Crowley, the credit magician.
Oh, the best way to overcome fear is to get you a gun,
right? And then learn how to use it,
and then get my books of knowledge. Okay, so get these books here of knowledge.
There you go.
And overcome the fear for 2020. Let's work with Colleen and Thomas, and let's make it happen.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's a lot of ways that we can help you here on the show with those types of activities: buying, selling, investing in real estate. We've got health covered, all types of wonderful partners of the show, people that can help you live a better life. And I wrote down a quote here for today, and it's based on success. We love to talk about success here. Napoleon Hill studied 25 years into the 500 best and brightest business minds in the world. This was turn of the century. Napoleon Hill with his many different books that he's written. But he studied, Alexander Graham Bell, Edison, Carnegie, Ford, Firestone, lots of these folks that were around the turn of the century that were crafting and creating the way that America was developing. And it's the master, the key to the riches. But one of the number one things that he talked about was the power of self-discipline, because with it, everything works. And without it, nothing works. So self-discipline, which is simply the ability to make yourself do what you should do, whether you feel like it or not. That's the key, is having self-discipline and developing those positive habits and replacing the habits that aren't maybe necessarily fortifying your life or your business. Just having that self-discipline to do the extra sales calls if you're in sales.
What is it? We spend 80% of our time doing the stuff that isn't productive, and 20% of our time doing what is productive, and it's supposed to be vice versa or something like that.
The 80-20 rule. 80-20 rule. Find out what those key things, if you were to write down 10 things that you do, if I were to say, hey, XYZ realtor, I want you to write down, what are you doing during the day? Give me your top 10 things that you do every day. Now, out of those 10, there's going to be 2 or 3 that are going to be more productive, that are going to lead to more success. So focus on those. Allocate those hours. Block the calendar. Every day from 8 to 10 a.m., that needs to be your prospecting time. For example, if you're in sales. And then some people don't like to do that, so they'd rather do door knocking or go to networking events. And there's different ways to grow your business, different styles, of course, personalities that people have. So I think that's key to recognize that. How do you like to interact with people? On the phone, in person. Yeah, find out what's going to work for you.
Knowing your priorities.
Yes, exactly. Prioritize your day. Prioritize what you're doing with your day. And really, if you think about it, a lot of people say, okay, well, I want to make $100,000 this year. Okay, well, let's reverse engineer that. What do I have to do in this month to make it a successful month? What do I have to do this week to make it a successful? Same thing with the weeks and the days, right? And then down to the hour.
Yep.
What are you doing on that hour to make it successful?
I get people coming into the store and they're like, I got to get firearms training. Please set me up here. And then I'm like, what about this Saturday? And they're like, I'm going shopping. Yeah. And then what about Sunday? I got a dog appointment. Yeah. Like, well, how serious are you about it? Where's your priorities in this? This is saving your life. So
yeah, exactly. You do see that. It's amazing how that happens.
Priorities.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Hey, another great show. I want to thank Colleen Rodriguez, Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage, Thomas King, Florida Firearms Academy, always a pleasure. William Crowley, the Credit Magician. It's been too long. We got to get you back in. Keep you back in.
Didn't even do one magic trick either.
No magic trick. That's right. He'll do it on the credit, though.
The magic man.
We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, donate some blood, swing a hammer for Habitat for Humanity. Lots of ways that you can be a force for good in the community. And follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.